and welcome to another edition of H. Paul Models. This being episode 3 of the D-Day Assault Diorama. So we're going to be using absolutely no instructions, no parts, just pure imagination. I'm looking forward to this. This diorama base is very flexible, and I want to stiffen it using this board. So I'm going to fix the two together, try and square that edge up with there. The board's not big enough, so I figured it's probably easier to cut it here than it is there, and then backfill that with home roll filler or something. So yes, stick it to the board first, and then I can make that cut using this bit, which I've masked, as a straight edge to give me the across there. There's still be plenty of room for the Typhoon, the trucks and whatnot. And I'm going to do something down the side here as well. I rather fancy Anderson type bomb shelter mess room thing, and maybe a truck or something here, because I can put one of the trucks on the road. I've got an idea for this little puddle thing. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I've rather got an idea for that, and I want to use it. It's going to be good. Right, let's stick it down. So getting our PVA glue. I'm not sure if this glue is going to work for this, but I think it will. I hope it will. So let's just put some on there like that. A PVA brush and spread it around. And then do the sides. Then carefully lift it up. And then see if we can't position that. Like that. Right, because the board diorama base is bent, I'm going to drill holes and screw it down as well, and then cover those screws in home roll filler. So I'm going to get on with that, and then I'll show you how I've done it afterwards. I PVA'd the underside, and now I've screwed it down in key locations to keep it flat, because what I don't want it to do is to flex and then just basically break the models or just not make a mess. So what I'm going to do now is just a little bit of PVA and just seal those sides in. Don't worry about the screws, I'll have a plan for them. But I just want to seal the sides in completely, just to make sure that there's no way that will come undone unless it's brute force and ignorance. That's what I'm thinking. I just want to make sure it's sealed. Right, I'm going to let that go off, and then continue with bits for the diorama, which I will do next on the video. Whilst the diorama dries, it's time to play with Lego. What I'm doing is I'm going to build a cast for a dry stone wall. This is a trick I picked up off of Steam Geezer again, one of my YouTube heroes. So I'm going to make an 18cm to 180mm long dry stone wall to go on the side of the road towards where the tiffy will be parked. So just get some Lego blocks out. Oh, it's just reliving my childhood. I'm not going to lie. And very like uncarefully build me an 18cm long, slightly longer wall. So there's one side. So I'm going to put that one there. I don't want it too thick, otherwise it will be ridiculous in scale. So I'm going to join that there, and then join that one like that. superb, absolutely superb for this. So I'm just going to move that. I'll put all these bricks away. I don't need them at the moment. I don't know about yourselves, but when I get an Airfix kit, I like to use as much of the kit as possible, even if that includes the tracing paper that comes with the decal sheet, the cardboard, any bits of sprue. To be honest, you paid for it, so why not use it? That's my philosophy on it. So I'm going to very carefully slide that from under there. Now we know this is, I'm going to make that the same width as the ruler. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? I'm going to mark that down there like that. That's about right. I'm going to cut that across there. So the ruler's done with now. Right. Vaseline, so the glue doesn't stick. And what I'm going to do, well, I did my car battery the other day, so that's why it's a bit there. So we just put that on there. This is so the glue that I'm going to use to bond the stones together doesn't stick to the cardboard. Now I've done this many times before. I've used tissue, I've used all manner of things, and it just seems to stick to everything and not actually achieve anything. So yeah, line the base with Vaseline. Always need a bit of tissue just to wipe your finger off. That's it. Now I'm going to very carefully dismantle this mould. So this half I'm going to coat with Vaseline. Again, this is so the glue doesn't stick to the Lego bricks. Go. That's my mould ready. Right, next step is the best bit. Get rid of the Lego bricks, don't need them anymore. Right, we take this stuff. This is tarmac chippings. There's some big stones in there, well, completely out of scale, but to be honest, I can't really go through them all and sift out the big ones, the little ones. I'm going to start with a small amount. Now I'm going to go through and pick out any obviously like boulders. They're going to be no good. There's one there. They're just ridiculously out of scale. It's not a massive thing, but I'll take that one out as well. The rest of them aren't too bad actually, that's alright. So, PVA. Our best friend, PVA. Put that in there. Oops. Bit of a globule of that. And because although it's very, very good, it's also more expensive than PVA, so I don't tend to use it too much. That's gloss. I want matte. Mod Podge matte. I think there's not a lot left in there actually. Yeah, let's glue that in there and all. There we go, that's enough. I don't want to use too much. As I said, it's not as cheap as PVA, and my budget isn't for hundreds of pounds of modelling supplies. So we take a Costa Coffee stirrer, or similar, there are other coffee manufacturers, whatever you want to call it. And we take that and we just stir it. Stir it, stir it, stir it. Get all the stones covered in it. It's very important they're all completely coated. I think that's done. Now, a bit of a fettle, I'll do it this way. Just gently pour them into the mould. That's a big one, but I mean, I'll push that down the bottom. Oh, it's too wide for the mould. Let's have that out. There is a bit of a selection process even after I've sorted through them. They do go through the net, unfortunately. There we go. So when that's dry, I'll be able to take the Lego bricks away and hopefully the cardboard away, and it will be a dry stoner. Marvellous. Right, I mentioned I was going to put an Anderson shelter type thing on the diorama. So I saw this on another YouTube channel. Again, I think it was Steam Geezers. He made a tool. Now, I haven't got a 3D printer like he has, but what I have got is a load of sprue. So I've made this tool as a sort of a die to use to form corrugated iron or steel using tin foil. So this is the tin foil I used in the Zero diorama crash scene. I'm going to try and use this to form corrugated iron. So if I put that, I'm actually going to stick that down actually with blue tack so it doesn't move underneath, because that will be quite annoying if it moves. So I like this because there's loads of little jobs to do before you even get anywhere near putting the vehicles on the diorama. So yeah, at the moment I'm quite enjoying all this arts and crafts. So I'll push that down on there like that so it's steady. Get my tin foil on there, and then with a cotton bud, so it, oh, you got one there, cotton bud, so it doesn't rip. I'm going to just do that and see if I can't get it to form to the shape of the sprue that I've got in there. And I think that's actually quite passable. It's not too bad at all. I sound surprised because I wasn't expecting this good a result. So yes, there we go. If I lift that up, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's got a texture of corrugated iron. So I'm going to take my scissors, very carefully cut that out. I'm going to make a few of these, and then I'm going to make the bomb shelter type arrangement. So bear with me while I make these, and then I shall make the hut, bomb shelter, whatever you want to call it. So for the structure of the mess room, bomb shelter or whatever, I've got that man here. So I reckon, using the inside of a toilet roll, I would say that the correct height for him is around about there, so he's not going to bang his head. And I'll mark the other side about there, I would think. Now with my ruler, find it, or my rule as I was told in my apprenticeship. Mark that down as square as I can. Oh, this is why, Ian, this is why I'm no good at measuring. Oh, I thought I'd let you that one. I'll give you that one. I can't measure for toffee, so I tend to like eye things up and do it rather than measure, because I'm just no good at it. So okay, let's cut this, which might be an inadequate pair of scissors, but we'll try them anyway. Okay, that's the half we want. I'll just make that a bit higher. Flatten these sides out. Yep, it'll fit in there. Only his hands in a way, but he will fit in there quite nicely. So the next step, which is I'm definitely going to make this mess, bit of tissue. Oh crikey, not the whole shop. Get rid of that bit for the moment. Get rid of him. Put that on the tissue. The other way around so it doesn't get in the way. Right, with the PVA and my PVA brush, wherever that ended up. There it is. I am going to try to attach the tin foil to this. And so I'm just going to coat this in PVA. I think that's suitably dampened. And take our tweezers, pick this up. Try not to get rid of the creases out of it. Oh, cripes. Put that onto there, like that, and then see if I can't just ever so gently, using the cotton bud, form it round. Yeah, it's not going to work, is it? Because I've got ridges in it now. It's going to be super strong. There we go. It's done. It's going over. There we go. It's on there. And then one for the other side. Hold it in there. Oops. Like that. And then bring that over. Oh, I've done the gold side. Brat. Pay attention. So I'm going to just push that into there. Like that. And then see if I can just ever so gently bend that over but retain the shape. Come on, over you go. Oh, you sod. I mean, oh, pardon me, that didn't work very well. So let's form this. Oh, things are not going to the plan. Right, let's hold that like that. Come on. Let's get a bit of PVA in there. And then we'll just punch that over and then feed that into it. So hopefully it will stick down like that. And then I can just seal that in like that. It's not brilliant. I know it's not brilliant, but it gives the impression of corrugated steel, which is what I'm after. I think that's dried and I can paint it green, and then I'll do some rust powdering, weathering, whatever on it. That'll be passable as an air raid shelter. quite pleased with that, chuffed. So far, got the board stuck, and I've gone around the edges with the Humbrol filler, just to seal the edges to the board a bit more. I'm just patting down the edges there, wetting my finger, and just pushing that into the plastic as hard, you know, not too hard, but hard enough. This is a alcohol water mix, 50-50. It seems to work with Humbrol filler quite well. So I just tap the edges in, and it just moulds itself to the diorama base. I'm just going to do that all the way around. It does go off quick, this Humbrol filler, so it's something you have to be quick with. And that's all my sides done, this side included. So I'm just going to push that in as well, just to make sure it sort of moulds in. There we go. Just try and get that to mould in as best I can. It's going to be covered in grass. It's not going to be too much of a problem, or weeds, or whatever I can find. But it's just to tidy that up. So I filled the ends up with that one. I plugged it with a bit of wood first, and then backfilled. I don't think this one's going to be quite big enough, so I'm just going to use a little bit more in there, and then just see if I can't get that over. What I'll do later is I'll get the thinners and just smooth them out. So for the moment, Humbrol filler is the one to go. There we go, it's filled. So I can just use the small filler, the thinner fillers. Try and say that after 6 pints of Stella. Just to do the make the ends look a bit more tidy. But at the moment, I'm quite happy with that. Then the masking tape will get rid of all the overspill, and just to tap that down, and then I'll just sand it and put some decent filler on it afterwards. If I say decent filler, Humbrol's quite good. It's just not as good as others. Now that's covered all the screws up. So the roadways. This is the bit that concerns me, shall we say. I saw on a Facebook post a little while ago that if you mix filler with Humbrol polycement, it becomes quite a good thin filler. So I am going to try that. I've never tried this before, so it should be, well, it's going to be a voyage of discovery. But we'll see what happens. So I'm just going to use the last of the tube on this. There we go. I'm just going to put a bit in there. I'll put some Humbrol cement in there. And I'm going to mix it up. Oh yeah, that actually works. That's gone really thin. So I'm just going to ease that into that lip there now. I don't want it too thick, that's the thing. I just want it to cover up that road section there. That's it. Like that. And then bring these out, if I can, without making too much. I think I might need a little bit more glue in there. A bit more mouldable, hopefully. Let's just see if that... Oh yeah, that's quite good actually. I would advise you don't do this in confined space. I've got the extraction fan on. It runs very quiet, a USB fan mock-up that I made, but I'd advise you wouldn't do this in your front room whilst watching EastEnders or something, because it's not going to be a good outcome for you. So yeah, just spread some more of that around there to try and carry the road on. Let's a bit more of that in there. Mix it in. So all those starter set pots of, or tubes of glue you've got actually have got a use, believe it or not. So there we go, just mould that into there. and then bring it out to the edge. There we go. That's worked exceptionally well, actually. I'm very pleased with that. I'm going to smooth it down in a minute. I'm just going to try and form it first. Just spread over the wood. Like that. As best I can. There we go. Get a clean one. I think these are from Hobbycraft. They're almost nothing in cost. Right, a bit more of this glue stuff down the middle because I want to make that smooth as possible. And take out and just try and I can smooth that out using the glue as a lubricant. If it'll work or not. Kind of hoping it will. Oh yeah, there you go. That's alright. So I'll get rid of that over there. That's it. Now let's try and do the same again here, but I don't want it as smooth because of tyre tracks and whatnot. There we go. I'll try and replicate what is on the diorama. I don't know if I'll succeed, but it's worth a go. Just jabbing it around. Let's just see if I can't replicate that and then replicate that. Hopefully when it's dried it'll look passable. Just bring that round to there. That's it. There we go. I think that follows the road on quite nicely. Actually, I'm not worried about that side. That's not a problem. Yeah, I think that follows on quite nicely with the road effect. Right, just I want to bit of water on that now. Just see if I can't just thin that down like that. There we go. There's a bit of step in there, but I mean, as I said, I'm not a professional modeller. I'm not going for a competition. I'm just doing this for a bit of fun. There we go. Super. I like that. I'm really impressed with that. It's a good fix. Before I do anything else, I've done all the base colours. There's going to be rocks here and that sort of thing, and grass all over the place. I've got to consider electronics. So during the Typhoon build, I put a motor in this, so that's going to need to be driven by a battery. So where am I going to put this? I think at an angle like that would be sensible. Something like that. That looks pretty good. Maybe push back a little tiny bit more because I'm going to need a truck in here somewhere. Maybe there. I don't know yet. I'm going to have a look. But yeah, I'm going to mark that with my pen and then drill a hole for the wires. So I'm going to stick it about there, hole for the wires there, so that will fall perfectly there. So a hole there. Also, the Anderson shelter type, I've got to paint this yet and everything else. I was thinking about putting it there with a path leading to it. So I would like to light that with an LED or something, but from the top, so like a light bulb type thing, so a hanging lamp. Put some furniture in it, that sort of thing, that I'll make out of lollipop sticks or whatnot. So for it to be there, I'm going to need a wire somewhere there, so I'll drill a hole there as well. So I bring the wire in there, up, along, put the light there. So that will go there. Next bit is going to be the dry stone wall, because I'm going to have the shelter thing when it's finished pinned up against it, so the wall's going to run down that way, something like that. So I'm going to use Mod Podge mat, there we go, to secure the wall. Hopefully I've got some left. So we squeeze it down there like that, all along the edge, and that'll probably do the first section. So yeah, that turned out quite well. Still a bit damp from the mould, but now it's in free air, it will dry a lot quicker. So we'll stick that there like that. In this tiny section, I'm going to put there. You around the other way. Idiot. There we go. That's in there. That'll wipe off. That's all right. Must be covered up in grass anyway, so it's no major loss. And there we go. Dry stone wall is on the diorama. That will take time to dry, but yeah, quite chuffed with that. For the mesh shelter, Anderson shelter type thing, I've built a little fireplace, so I'm going to have that in the corner. So I've got to just quickly measure that to drill a hole for the electronics to go through, or the cable to go through. So if that's going to be there, that's got to go about there, so we'll just drill a quick hole in that and set the fireplace. Take our fireplace and stick that there like that, and the shelter will sit on top. So with a super glue, just to hold it in place a little bit. Oh, there we go, put that in there like that. Push that down and then bend the LED wires over. That's it, that should hold that in place while it sets. Job done. Now the road. It's a base colour. It's too bright. I don't like it, so I'm going to weather it. So using a bit of weathering powder, I'm just going to see if I can just bring out the highlights. of the tracks and everything else. Especially that. And I'll get on with this. I'm going to varnish it and then we can carry on with vehicles and whatnot. Right, painting the Anderson mesh shelter type thing. I'm using an enamel paint. I hate enamel paints. But as it's a metallic structure, it sort of makes a bit of sense. So I'm just going to try and apply this. Oh, it's just crap. I don't like this stuff at all. It's horrible. But, you know, when needs must. I really don't like this paint. But still, we'll get it on there. So I want it to be thin enough to show the metal, but also colour it green. And when that's done, I'm going to mix up some very thin rust paint and run that down the joints as best as I can. So we'll carry on doing this. I really don't like this paint. I hate it. It's just not me. But we'll see. I'll just keep putting it on. So, putting vehicles on a diorama at last. Woohoo! Now this little truck here, I don't know if you can see on a diorama. I've left a dark space there for a puddle. So, using a bit of Mod Podge gloss, I want a little dribble in that puddle to make it look like water. Come on, just a little bit. There you go. Now this dries clear and shiny. So it's really, really good for this. Now I'm just going to get a cocktail stick and just push that into the corners of the puddle. That's it, that will dry clear but shiny, so the dark will show through. That's it, take any excess off. Like that. That's it. So what I'm going to do then is, I'm going to get this lorry, truck, telly, and stick him in it. So he's slewing just on the edge of the tracks like that. I'm going to get a little bit of revel because it's plastic on plastic, so it's brilliant for that. A little bit of a squeeze there. That should hold that nicely. And I'll just do the other side. Excuse me for leaning over. One there and one there. Now that should hold him in place. And the last bit, the bit I really want to do, this poor little fella here, his co-driver, he's trying to push him out that puddle. So, a little bit of glue on his feet. I don't want it going all over the board, but a little bit on his hand, a little bit on that hand. Then I'm going to stick him on this corner like that. There we go, he's on. Right, leave him alone. I'll put an extra dob on his foot to make sure he stays where he's put. Like that. These characters don't stick well to things, so hopefully that will bond him. There we go. And that's the first vehicle in, so we'll just let that Mod Podge go off. And in the meantime, I'm going to make a little bit of spray out, some foam and some brown paint. And then I shall weather it to show it's been wheel spinning. Do like a bit of comedy. a sleepless night. So I've done quite a bit of work off camera. That truck's already done. I've added the spinning wheel effect. This truck's now been added. I've added all the grass. Well, when I say grass, I actually mean parsley and thyme. And I've finished off the shelter. The Typhoon, all the wires are through, just need soldering. All I've got to do now is add the characters, these little fellas and lady, to the diorama, do some soldering, and it's done. So I'll crack on with those. To apply these figures to the diorama, I don't like these bases. I just, no. So I take the figure from the heel, very sharp scalpel, just cut them free from the base. Gorilla Glue, which I use a lot for this sort of thing. A nice big dollop of it there. And we take Mr. Pilot, pair of tweezers, and stick him in, and he can now even chat with his lover. There we go. Just got to hold in position for a little while till the glue sets, and he'll stay there unless he's knocked or deliberately taken off. There. That rocket. Angle there. That's it. A little bit of the old Gorilla Glue on his shoulder. Just enough. Come on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. Well, there you go. That's my take on the D-Day assault diorama. Hope you enjoyed the build as much as I enjoyed building it. Please like the video, and if you haven't done already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next episode. Cheers!